Let's get right into it. Big salute to Drizzy Drake. He has been blowing up the scene right now with the Iceman album about to drop May 15th. He's been turning up the rollout. However, with him getting ready for this rollout, there's going to be the naysayers out there talking on the man's name. And I titled this segment, Hassan, This Is Drake. Now, when people ask Hassan, are they thinking Hassan Campbell? And it's like, nah. And it's like Hassan Phillips, the comedian guy. Nah, not Hassan Phillips. Hasan Piker, who actually is one of the biggest live streamers in America, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like on Kick, or not on Kick, on Twitch, because he's anti-Kick. On Twitch, he racks up tens of thousands of live stream viewers when he's doing his thing. He is very controversial when it comes to his political opinions. And he recently did an interview with Ebro, Laura, and Rosenberg, actually. And big salute to Ebro, Laura, and Rosenberg. They have actually done an amazing job of leveling up their podcast, their show, whatever you want to call it. But they're doing their damn thing. So let me pull up the files over here, and we'll go straight to it. I'm actually going to pull up the files courtesy of No Jumper. All right, salute to No Jumper. So here we have it over here. So Hasan Piker says Drake is cringe and speaks on his biggest ops, Aiden Ross and DJ Academics. So let's see what he got to say.
I definitely sided with Kendrick.
Why? Sure. Why definitely? Why you saying it like that, bro? Hey, hang on.
What, you agreed?
Just saying, though. I'm a Drake fan, so
Kendrick Watson. Don't get mad at me. I think he's kind of corny, which is the biggest crime you can commit on the internet. I think he's a corny guy.
Who?
Drake. Is Drake not corny?
I think Drake became something that we didn't meet him as, and that was the critique that Kendrick used.
Also, he's a big Stake affiliate, so those are my main ops too.
He has a really big problem when it comes to the gambling companies. He has gone to war with Aiden Ross when it comes to Stake and his opinions on, and not only Aiden Ross, XQC as well, as when it comes to his opinions on, the gambling companies. And, XQC and Aiden, those guys have had major gambling deals when it comes to Stake and different things like that. So, let's continue.
So what is the
wait, tell me more.
Yeah, what's the Stake thing?
It's the crypto casino,
right?
And they're not fond of me.
Why?
Yeah,
because I was very critical of them doing gambling ads on Twitch, and they got kicked off of Twitch. And I mean, the founders they're printing money. They're multi-billionaires at this point.
You know what I'd rather do? I'm gonna go to the actual interview itself. Let's pull up the interview. I have the interview here loaded.
Sided with Kendrick.
Why? Sure. Why? Definitely. Why you saying it like that, bro? Hey, hang on.
What, you agreed?
Just saying, though. I'm a Drake fan, so
Kendrick Watson. Don't get mad at me. I think he's kind of corny, which is the biggest crime you can commit on the internet. I think he's a corny guy.
Who?
Drake. Is Drake not corny?
I think Drake became something that we didn't meet him as, and that was the critique that Kendrick used.
Also, he's a big Stake affiliate, so those are my main ops too. I got
what is the
ops.
Wait, tell me more.
Yeah, what's the Stake thing?
It's the crypto casino,
right?
And they're not fond of me.
Why?
Yeah,
because I was very critical of them doing gambling ads on Twitch, and they got kicked off of Twitch. And I mean, the founders they're printing money. They're multi-billionaires at this point.
Of Stake or Twitch?
Stake. Then that's what they got kicked off Twitch. So they were like, all right, fuck you. We're going to start our own competitive platform.
And what they start?
See, if I go and just do a quick search of Hasan Piker and Stake, right, you'll definitely find a few videos where he's shitting on them. This is him arguing with XQC.
They hire Britney Spears because they want foot traffic into casinos. Stake has built Kick so that they can have foot traffic into Stake. You, in that regard, are no different than a casino hiring a famous, talented person. You are also evangelizing Kick right now, and you're technically fulfilling maybe not an openly stated part of your contract, but the main reason why they gave you $100 million. The reason why I personally believe it's a non-exclusive deal, which is great for you, by the way, I do think it's great, is
It
because
makes it even easier.
then you can move over to Twitch. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say you can move from Twitch over to Kick, and your audience will follow you as well. If you went directly to fucking Kick, you would lose a big chunk of your audience that would follow you there. And that's not a diss on you. They hire Britney Spears because they want foot traffic.
All right, so he has a lot of issues, and I'll show some more videos in a second.
He's saying the young.
Here we go. The meat and potatoes. Pause.
Didn't talk about that at all. I'm like, no, these are my opinions, because I know everyone's gonna be like, nah, it's bullshit, regardless.
Right. The checking you try to justify.
Well, listen, similarly, not quite as serious. Drake fans don't believe that I'm a Drake fan.
Yeah, no matter what he says.
No matter what I say.
Wow, that's
just because during the battle.
So is it before here? Okay.
I've been used to that. I'm used to death threats. I'm used to people doxing and see that I really like.
Yeah, I've seen him too.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce his name?
Shoykot.
Yeah,
Shoykot Chakrabarti. I'm doing something with Chris Rabb in Philly tomorrow. I'm doing something with Corey Bush in Missouri the day after. So there are a lot.
You remember Corey Bush was the one APAC ran out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That Low End Theory album in the back is hard still. I ain't gonna lie. I got that album too, but on tape.
Nah, it's bullshit. Regardless.
Right. The checking you try to justify.
Well, listen, similarly, not quite as serious. Drake fans don't believe that I'm a Drake fan.
Yeah, no matter what he says.
No matter what I say.
Wow, that's
just because during the battle he got washed.
That's a real struggle for you.
It's hard. He lives with it every day.
Okay.
Yo, the comments are crazy.
Did you weigh into Drake and Kendrick at all?
Yeah, I definitely sided with Kendrick.
Why? Why definitely? Why you saying it like that, bro? Hey, hang on.
What, you agreed?
Let's go.
I'm just saying, no. I'm a Drake fan, so
Kendrick
during the battle, and then
washed him. The man said.
Oh, okay. I think he's just. Don't get mad at me. But I think he's kind of corny,
Ooh.
which is the biggest crime you can commit on the internet. I think he's a corny guy.
Who?
Drake. Is Drake not corny?
Don't put him in this spot because this is now.
I believe Drake is himself, and that's why we loved who he was. So if you think he's corny, you just don't like who he is as a person. I don't think
Ebro's trying to see. This is better than the clip that we just saw because they clipped the hell out of that clip. Now, when I'm realizing, Ebro is trying to make sure that he doesn't get in any more problems. He already got the axe emoji in his comments. He got the die slow or die slower in his DMs. So Ebro's treading lightly.
He's corny. I think he's been vulnerable. I think he's made great songs, and I think he's a great rapper.
There we go.
No matter what he does, he cannot defeat the clip economy that has decided he hates Drake.
Yeah. Right now, I believe that people throw the corny on Drake because they have an archetype for a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
And so because they have this archetype in their brain of what a rapper's supposed to act like and look like and talk like.
But Drake plays that part, ironically.
But
he's very into the archetype.
But that's the mistake that he
I agree.
Right? He got baited
But that's what he feels is corny. You may not pinpoint it, but what I think you probably think is corny about Drake is that he plays the archetype of what a rapper is instead of.
But he didn't always do that, though. When we first met Drake, he was not doing this.
Yo, these guys are having a deep Drake debate now, bro. They did not play that in the clip.
Badman.
Rapper show.
Like,
you know what I mean? He wasn't talking about slime and gang and mob life and all that. He wasn't doing that. But I think along the timeline somewhere, he felt, either he started hanging out in that circle and he took on that, or people was playing with him a little bit. And he felt like if I act a little bit, what were you going to say, Lil? Huh?
Around the area when he's having Young Money.
He's saying the Young Money era.
Whatever the era is. I just don't. I think Drake became something that we didn't meet him as, and that was the critique that Kendrick used.
Also, he's a big Stake affiliate, so those are my main ops too. I got so many ops.
Wait, tell me more.
Yeah, what's the Stake
It's
thing?
a crypto casino,
right?
And they're not fond of me at
all.
Why? Yeah,
because I was very critical of them doing gambling ads on Twitch, and they got kicked off of Twitch. And I mean, the founders are printing money. They're multi-billionaires at this point.
Of Stake or Twitch?
Stake.
Got
it. And then that's what they got kicked off Twitch. So they were like, all right, fuck you. We're gonna start our own competitive platform.
And what they start?
Kick.
They started Kick.
Yeah. So they've never given up on that.
Well, so now I do critique Drake though,
And-
which is also why.
There's also a lot going on with Kick and Drake. There's apparently a new lawsuit that's going on between Kick and Drake. I wonder if I could find that here before we continue this video. Kick, Drake, or not Kick, Kick Steak, which basically is the same thing, to be honest. Steaks, Drake lawsuit. Let's see if there's any updates on that we can find on that lawsuit. Let's see what we can find.
Federal class action lawsuit filed under the RICO Act is accusing online gambling platform Stake and rapper Drake of promoting illegal gambling and engaging in coordinated fraud tied to music streaming manipulation. According to the complaint, Stake allegedly operates an unlawful online casino disguised as a sweepstakes platform. At the same time, Drake is accused of promoting the site and participating in financial schemes connected to artificial streaming inflation.
I'll be shocked. So on some other Drake news, y'all heard about the lawsuit. Drake, Aiden Ross, academics, and Stake, the gambling website app.
Yeah. This one's actually filed in Jersey.
You break it down.
No, it's kind of the same thing with the other lawsuits that have been filed. Someone files a suit claiming that, well, one, that Drake, academics, and Aiden Ross are not disclosing that they have the deal with Stake. Like it's basically saying y'all are not gambling y'all money. So y'all are leading the people on to believe that y'all are winning all this money. Y'all are playing the risk yourself, and you're not. So then people partake into it, and then they lose. So,
so basically, that's the gist. That's what the newest lawsuit is for.
His fan base doesn't take kindly, right? Because what's this Aiden Ross thing we're doing, my guy? What is this?
Yeah.
What are we?
Another one of my aunts.
Wait, and Ross enough?
Every villain that you know on the internet has had a long and extended, protracted war against.
What about
me.
academics though? You ever battled with academics too?
Yes.
Wow,
Yo, Ack don't like us either. Talk to us.
Let's go.
Academics. He's aligned with all of these like right wing shitheads. So of course
Well, yeah, we saw him promoting
we've had
Trump, and we were really like,
yeah,
yo,
we've had a conversation in the past where he was like, yeah, I watched Tim Pool and I watch you, and he didn't like fully grasp what my worldview was. There's a very famous line in that interview where he goes like, "You're kind of sounding like a socialist, dangerously close to a socialist, my guy." That's what he said to me.
Dangerously close.
I was like, wow, yeah,
You don't say, huh?
you nailed it.
Yeah, you really you get him.
Do you think the world view on the term socialism? Well, let's not
Hold on. Let's play a little bit more. I think they kind of get off the topic now.
say worldview. Let's say the American view on the term socialism is shifting due to what we're seeing with Mom Donnie and even the work you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got what is it like?
Yeah, they get off of that at this point. The thing is, they have Drake in this category, and they being like a lot of, I will say, the Kendrick side. They have Drake in the same category as Aiden Ross, academics, XQC, all these guys that are supposed to be right wing. How do you do this? How right wing, red pill, misogynistic type of entertainment. You know what I'm saying? They all lump them into the same category as even guys like Myron from Fresh and Fit. Not as much Fresh, because Fresh, I don't know, nobody gives a shit about what he says. But they put all of the bad actors, Clavicular, all of those guys are supposed to be accrue the same fan base, basically, is what I'm trying to say. All right. So Drake is definitely put into that category when it comes to people who are on the Kendrick side. Is that a thing? Do you guys agree? Do you guys think that that's that Drake fits that category that people are trying to put him into? Because I haven't only heard people like Hasan Piker say this type of shit. Or lump him in with the Aiden Rosses and everybody of the world. Right? I've heard big salute to my homie Justin Hunt. He said the same thing. publicly. You know what I'm saying? There's different people who have said like Drake he's a Trumper, and I'm thinking to myself, he's Canadian, but he pushes to a mainly American audience. Maybe it might be a thing. Let me know. One in the chat. If Drake is part of the red pill, the bro community, yo, bro. Because respectfully, I do feel that his female fan base has definitely transitioned over the years, where he doesn't have as much. Like his songs are still gal friendly. Like he just dropped the whole album, "Sexy Songs for You," him and Party Next Door. So he's definitely still making songs for the ladies. But as far as like the whole nice for what, sensitive type shit, like or more woman empowerment type of vibes that Drake used to be on before, even on some Captain Save a Ho, I'm gonna take you out the strip club type shit, like I don't feel that kind of vibes when I'm listening to Drake anymore. Respectfully, I feel more like a cold vibe, hence maybe the name Iceman. I don't know, but I feel he's a little bit more hard on these thoughts type shit. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of ones in the chat, but there's a few twos. There's a few twos, but there's a lot of ones. Because there was a show, if I can find this, there was a show when Drake was in one of those places in Europe when he was performing. Let me see. And they were showing like these guys doing like rowboats and shit like that. Show rowboats. Let me see if I can find that on Twitter. It was weird. I was like, what are these guys doing? It was just like a bunch of like men like moshing and stuff like that. Let me know if I'm getting any lag also in the chat, okay? If so, then I'm gonna go close a bunch of windows. Yeah, it was bare white youths. What show was that? Do you guys remember what place where he was? I was just like, what the hell is going on in that crowd? Look at this. It was like the bros route. Now, this Barry Gal in this one. This is not a good example. It was like at the tour. It was like at one of the shows, and I was like, holy. Mosh pit for Euphoria. I guess Kendrick got them too, so I don't know. It's kind of hard to say that's the thing, you know what I'm saying? When he was walking out with the freaking yo, the man went off in 2024, bro. Anyhow, it was just like a lot of white kids is what my point is. You know what I'm saying? This is when Drake was still more tending to the ladies in these times here. Right? But at one point in time, people were like, yo, Drake is a red pill guy. You know what I'm saying? It got kind of weird. Especially over the last few years. Let me see if I just put Drake red pill, what will pop up? All right. See, look, Joe Budden claims red pill community is a big chunk of Drake's fan base. Watch this.
Wrote it, and it continues to work. All of this new shit, have a blast with the fucking red pill niggas.
Wow.
Yeah.
I really didn't peep that.
What was the? I was going to ask, what's the correlation between the red pill mentality niggas and Drake? Like, why are they suddenly like on his bandwagon?
I think part of it is he made his presence felt in that community, right? Like he does that when he was doing that with the sounds, like hopping around the fucking Jamaica and London and all that shit. He did it with communities. He did it to the battle rap community. That's why you see a lot of the battle rap community still saying that Drake won that beef. is because they fuck with him.
1 second. Yo, big salute, Q Genius. I'm gonna pop up on Star's platform just now. I'm gonna send him a donation and pop up on the phone just now. But salute to you, brother.
Like that's their man. We don't view it like y'all. He came over here. He blessed us with his presence. The same thing with what were we just talking about?
The red pills.
The red pill niggas. He started popping up in some of those YouTube streaming communities where that's the vibe. So they just feel differently toward him. And I think maybe he has done a few things to maybe turn off his female fan base, things that I never thought was that big of a deal.
Thank you for the donation.
I guess if you do it back to back to back to back, you don't see as many women using the Drake lyrics as Instagram quotes for as long as you saw them. That was a run in hip hop.
Huge.
That was a run.
See, didn't I just say this is what people be saying about Drake and the whole red pill community and all that right now? And again, thank you for the donation, Fall Leaves. And he says, big up to Randy. Big up to Randy for real. That's my guy.
In hip hop.
And
my cat.
Social media.
Yeah, for sure. When Apple Drake, you wasn't gonna escape it. Now it just seemed like somebody somewhere is trying to force something that's not really there. That's my take, please.
See, I don't know if he's the best person as a litmus test to say, okay, any kind of Drake critique, because like, come on, like that's one of his biggest haters. You know what I'm saying? He might have ulterior motives in his opinions. All right, but that's like one of the first things that pop up. So I ain't gonna lie, and I remember hearing Van Lathan go through a long rant about why Drake has alienated his female fan base. But before I get off of this, okay, because I know the Hassan Piker guy, he's given his opinions, and this is going to move around. Right, I feel like I'm probably one of the first people who is talking about it right now. Academics going to probably talk about it later because he hates Hassan, but there's a lot of people who hate Hassan. Right, so if I just put in his name, there'll be probably some videos, courtesy of one of my favorite channels. I'm surprised it's not popping up right away, because usually I'm locked into a certain channel that's always playing this. He hates this guy. 2 days ago, Hassan is actually panicking now.
Welcome back to a series so peak. Even Mount Everest subscribed.
Trump admin officials. Another family member who was interviewed by investigators after the attack said Cole Allen had a tendency to make radical statements, and his rhetoric constantly referenced the plan to do something to fix the issues of today's world. More here on his firearms training and left-wing groups he was involved with. Left-wing groups he was involved with is crazy, by the way, because I don't think he's involved with any left-wing groups. He just went to a
agenda. Really principled as always. Hassan is crashing out at YouTubers Abba and Preach for calling out his viral take, calling gamers loser incels. Subscribe or you get an Aristotle lecture.
The timeline here does.
Yeah, that's new. That wasn't the case. They probably added that after the fact.
Right. They're talking about an actual attempted assassination, knowingly spreading complete misinformation and lies just to have fun, right? Spreading complete, provably false conspiracy theories, lying to your entire audience. And most of them believe this shit because they're dumb as rocks and they're politically brain rotted. They want to believe just one certain thing. Of course, it's a Twitter account from 10 years ago that predicted this exact day. Surely that's not manufactured.
This guy spends maybe an hour a day making a video just shitting on this guy, and look at the views on this. 181,000 views in 2 days. He just prints money just shitting on this guy.
Surely that's not somebody just trying to mess with you. Surely this happens for every fucking event, not like we've seen this like a million times before. By the way, this video has like 400k views as well. So this guy just openly lies and divides people more and more, tries his best to foment more hate, divide the country more, set it on fire just to have fun. And then Hassan watches this, goes, yep, hilarious. I know it's completely false. I know this is bullshit, but he's having fun. Let him do it. And these are the people.
So this is kind of a window into the opinions of a lot of people, not everybody, because he has a huge audience, but a lot of people how they feel about this guy.
People that claim to report the truth, this is where people legitimately get their info. They're watching like 5 to 10 videos a day of the most like unhinged shit, the straight up lies. I mean, at least we're telling the truth here. These people are beyond shameless. And I don't say this often, but you know, respect to Hassan for somewhat calling this out. Although he's not going to push back at all because, you know, he knows that this is very useful to his like side and his politics or whatever. But I find it hilarious. He points out to his audience, hey guys, this is most likely bullshit. But, you know, fuck it. Let's just ride. Let's just ride with the shit because it's really convenient for me. Let's just have fun. And it's like a real serious political event as well. And
so basically, this is the person who's giving their opinions on Drizzy Drake. Not to say that because a bunch of people don't like homie that he's wrong, but I don't know. You got to take it with a grain of salt is basically what my opinion is. Somebody said something over here that might happen still. Peace Love says Drake's already in Hassan's DMs and flying out Hassan's girlfriend to the embassy. Maybe. I don't know if that's really going to do anything. Like, they're probably, respectfully, they're probably just in the same dating pool, just smashing a bunch of strippers, just whatever type chicks. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think like bringing out one of Hassan's girlfriends is gonna do anything to his feelings type shit. So salute to Drizzy Drake, right? Just let him know he got a new op that he might have to look out for. You might hear some Hasan Piker bars in the Iceman album, but you never know. You never know.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out these other videos on the screen and make sure to like and subscribe.
We love hip hop.